Hey there, welcome to the booth. Look at this. I have two people with me now. I've got Randy Buehler, I've got an Ian Duke, I'm Marshall Sutcliffe, and we're ready to head down to the feature match area for round 14 here from Pro Tour Magic Origins. Hello and welcome to coverage of Pro Tour Magic Origins. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Hall of Famer Randy Buehler and R&D insider Ian Duke, and we are ready for round 14 where we have a real storyline on our hands here. This is Eric Froehlich. His opponent is Andrew Cuneo. Now, they're playing two awesome decks, and we're going to get to that, but I want a bigger picture view here, Randy, of what Player of the Year looks like.
Eric Froehlich has won 9 of his last 10 rounds to recover from an 0-3 start. And now he can start banking points, he can start eliminating people, he can start earning that Player of the Year title. Andrew Cuneo just wants to go to Worlds. At 9-4, he's not going to make this top 8, barring some just mathematical, bizarre reality. He's not going to make top 8, but he needs a couple more wins if he's going to get one of those at-large spots to Worlds. He's Platinum, wants to go to PAX. And wow, look at Fro out of the gates.
Yeah, this is a very aggressive start, and this is, in fact, the namesake of the deck, Ian, Blue-Red in Soul Artifact, and we see that right off the bat here.
Yeah, this is a deck that many of the Channel Fireball team brought to battle today, jokingly called Frobots on the deck registration sheet here.
I think that name's taken
awesome.
for vintage fans.
And the aim of this deck is just playing up artifact synergies. Some of the cards back from M15, like in Soul Artifact, Shrapnel
How about
Blast,
running
and Dark
with scissors?
Steel, Dark
Can we make
Steel
running-
Citadel.
Running with scissors works.
That should be
is a
the
good
name
one.
of the deck, right?
I
Running
like
with
it.
scissors.
By the way, Eric is doing that, and he's running directly at Andrew Cuneo's life total right now, who just discarded.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Andrew
Kept
kept a
one
slow
land on
one
the draw.
here, and he is going to be dead right away.
Wow.
That's game one for Eric Froehlich. He's currently ranked #1 in the world, and that draw was a first rank in the world draw as well, as he smashed Cunio. This can't be a good matchup. Let's take a look at what else we have going on in the feature match area, though, Randy. There's some storylines here right after these messages.
Ignite your spark. Magic Origins is now available on Magic Online. Explore the new set by signing up for Magic Online at mtgo.com. The battle for Zendikar is coming to PAX Prime, and the Eldrazi are taking over. Join us for a special 1-hour Battle for Zendikar preview show hosted by Ashley Birch and featuring the Wizards of the Coast R&D team as they pull back the curtain on Magic's most exciting fall release ever.
And welcome back to the feature match area here in Vancouver. That was a quick game. We're going to jump down now to check on our, let's see. This is, yeah, we have Michael J. Flores versus Sam Black here in the feature match area. Now, Randy, Sam Black, we had him as the favorite for Player of the Year just recently.
That was 3 losses ago.
And things have changed dramatically.
Yeah, Red's been kind of getting beat up on in the feature match area so far today, and Sam Black is now on 4 losses. He's not going to make this top 8, although maybe if somebody's sneaking on tiebreakers, his good run yesterday would give him a small chance of that. Mike Flores, though, welcome back to the Pro Tour. It's been 9 years for Mike, and these are teammates. They are both on Team Ultra Pro. Mike has been giving props to Team Ultra Pro's limited preparation in particular. Helped him 5-1 limited. He won his pod this morning. It's like, this is how good Team Ultra Pro is at limited prep, says Mike Flores. They can even help me win.
And speaking of winning, Flores did just that, picking up game 1 against Sam Black. They are dropping like flies in the feature match area. We are 3 games done already. Of course, all the matches still live. But Mike Flores is going to win the mirror match there.
Sounds like Tian has a win on the back table.
Now, Tian is up a game over Max McVetti. Now, what does this mean for Lee? I'm seeing Tian at 9-4, Sam Black at 9-4, and Eric Froehlich at 9-4.
You're seeing correctly. They are all tied. Eric Froehlich has come all the way back from an 0-3 start. He's now tied with his nearest rivals, and as long as he stays even, he wins.
What a huge twist. He came in winning the Player of the Year into the Pro Tour. He was the leader.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was going to fall apart for him there, as there was a lot of people scrapping to try to overtake him with that 0-3 start. It was like, well, At least he got in the Hall of Fame. And I don't think he thought that way at all, because he has been scrapping his way back up to the top. There's a reason why he has a number 1 in parentheses next to his name.
I was actually talking to Eric between rounds. He was watching, people on camera, updates are coming in. Even more important than Player of the Year to Eric Froehlich, he wants to go to the World Magic Cup as the captain of Team USA.
Right, of course.
He's like, you know what? If Tian beats me, but I finish ahead of Sam and I get to be the captain of Team USA, he's okay with that. I mean, obviously, he wants to be Player of the Year, but the captaincy of Team USA is actually even more important to Eric.
It's funny. There's so much on the line. Even things as big as that can get lost in the fray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now, the one person who controls their own destiny versus Eric is actually Mike Sigrist. Siggy can make the top 8. Siggy's on 3 losses. So is Shahar Shenhar, by the way. So Siggy can leapfrog him for Player of the Year and Captain of Team USA. Shahar can leapfrog him from Player of the Year if those guys make it to Sunday. But those are the only 2 who can get ahead of Eric if Eric just keeps winning the way he's done so far every round
back
today.
To control his own destiny. Now, the deck that he's chosen here, Ian, this Frobots, as we were calling it.
Running with scissors.
Running with scissors, I like. Talk to us about it. What does it do?
So the main game plan is to leverage artifact synergies. We saw in Soul Artifact last game. This can go on cards like Ornithopter or Darksteel Citadel to start attacking as early as turn 2 with a 5/5 artifact creature. But it's also got some more resilience into the late game with the new Origins card Hangerback Walker we've seen a lot of this weekend. Phyrexian Revoker can shut down Planeswalkers. And actually, limited uncommon all-star Whirler Rogue makes an appearance in this deck and is actually quite potent. Now, on top of all that, we have the sort of lesser-known Ghostfire Blade from Khans of Tarkir, which hasn't seen a lot of constructed play so far, but artifact creatures are colorless creatures, just as morphs are colorless creatures. And so Ghostfire Blade is actually an all-star in this deck.
Yeah, Ghostfire Blade itself did 20 damage in game 1. Now, Randy, what about the other deck? Because Andrew Cuneo brought a real spicy one to the table.
This is a brew. 4 copies of Sphinx's Tutelage. This is blue-red mill. Your goal is just mill your opponent as quickly as you possibly can. He plays Jace out of Origins. He plays Sphinx's Tutelage. You go turn 1 Jace, turn 2 Sphinx's Tutelage. You can deck them by about turn 6 in this deck. A million ways to draw cards, ranging from Magmatic Insight to Tormenting Voice to Jace to...
Cruise.
Yeah, Treasure Cruise. He's even got an Alhambrad's Archive to multiply all of that.
I've
a couple
seen
of
that,
Dictates
by the way.
of Crufix. And then other than that, he's control cards, right? Anger of the Gods. He just wants to stall, and he wants to draw cards, triggering Sphinx's Tutelage as many times as he possibly can. Super sweet deck. Super just bizarre take on what's possible here in Standard. And the guy's 9-4. It's working.
I think it's great. All right, so
Revoker's naming Jace Vryn's
Jace
Prodigy.
Vryn's
by the way.
Prodigy is what he decided to name with that. So Sphinx's Tutelage on turn 3.
And not a super beatdown draw from Eric.
For Andrew Cuneo. Well, we'll see.
Look, by this point, he already had the scissors running at Andrew.
No, it wouldn't have hit him until this turn though. So he's playing him out right, and here we go. 7 damage, Andrew Cuneo. You have 2 more turns to live if you do nothing.
It's Grindstone, so flip over the top 2. If they share a color, then we're going to repeat.
It's artifacts and lands, it's just color, right?
Yeah.
Not type or anything.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier in the day, though, Randy. A little bit of a problem for Andrew Cuneo's deck in this matchup, besides the fact that he's taking 7 damage on turn 3, is the fact that the artifacts in Eric's deck are colorless and therefore will not be the same color twice to repeat
I mean, the deck isn't super reliant on double milling.
No, but a little incidental double mill here and there is nice, and it's pretty tough to hit.
All fair.
2 cards and then trigger.
All right, now you can see one of the core interactions here with the deck. So he's playing Tormenting Voice, which is 1 in a red, discard a card, draw 2 cards, but it says draw 2 cards. So now he gets to trigger the Sphinx's Tutelage a few times here. He's already milled 9 cards this turn. That was from his draw step and the Tormenting Voice. But he's got big problems here, Ian.
Yes, indeed.
He is going to have to deal with a 5/5 indestructible, and he's in red-blue. That is going to be a tall order.
Right. I was just going to mention with red being Andrew's removal color, so to speak, indestructible is extremely potent against him. And not only that, but Efro has a copy of Stubborn Denial in his hand, which is turned on by the 5/5 artifact creature.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Cunio. We could have a very quick one down in the feature match area here for Eric Froehlich on the
Eric's
back
gonna
of
pick up a 10th
indestructible
win.
5-5.
He was 0-3.
Here's an attempt at whelming wave by Andrew Cuneo, but of course met with
He just shrapnel blasted,
Shrapnel
and
blast,
that's it. Eric Froehlich picks
Wow.
up the match, 2-0.
Wow.
That did not look like a tough matchup, although, you know, it could have been draw dependent, but holy crap.
Matchup looks pretty hard from Cunio's
Yeah,
side.
he killed him on
certainly
like
does.
turn 4 both games. So Eric Froehlich is going to improve to 10-4. Cunio's going to have to settle for 9-5.
What that means is that Kentaro Yamamoto can officially no longer be Player of the Year.
Unbelievable.
Eric Froehlich is guaranteed at least 6 points. His worst case scenario is now a 10-6 record, 6 points up to 66. Kentaro Yamamoto tops out even if he wins the Pro Tour at 64.
So who's still in the race here?
Siggy, Mike Sigrist,
Uh-huh.
if he makes top 8.
Okay.
Tian, Sam Black.
And they have to catch Eric, who just won
They have
his
to
match.
pass him.
They have to pass Eric, right.
Right. Only Sigrist controls his own destiny from that group.
Crazy. Here we get a look at Brian Gottlieb.
I think there might still be some mathematical chance that like a Paul Rietzel could get into a tie scenario if Efro finishes loss-loss, but that's about it. Yeah, if Efro finishes loss-loss and Rietzel finishes X5, then maybe. But I mean, those are very unlikely.
All right, so Ian, this isn't a happy scene for Brian Gottlieb fans around the world.
No, certainly not. He led off with a turn 1 Elvish Mystic, which normally would be a great start. Stephen Neal sort of sighed and lightning striked it, presumably unhappy not to have searing blood there. But regardless, that has set Brian Gottlieb to having no second land and no second mana source.
Good games.
Okay, he said
And
that's
that's it.
enough. He's had enough, and that is going to do it. Stephen Neal takes the match, I believe.
Sorry, man. That's all right.
King of the Hill table, Stephen Neal, 1 win away from top 8 now.
Wow, these games are happening so fast. I assume this is a lethal attack since we just came to the table. So we're jumping on Li Tian. That's Lee on the left-hand side of your screen. Max McVetti is on the right. And it looks like his life total is under assault here. I do not believe that he's at 20 life. There we go, down to 12. And he's got a sideboard card here, Ian.
Yeah, Nyx Fleece Ram. This is actually one of the most potent sideboard cards against these red decks. It's a great blocker, gaining life each turn, but met with roast, unfortunately.
But
You know,
by the way, not actually
Yeah.
a sideboard card. Green-White Constellation plays
Oh.
that thing main deck.
Very nice.
Excellent.
So Max now has 2 cards in his graveyard that have life gain abilities attached to them in his yard right now.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it slowed down Li Tian at all.
It's just the same deck Kyle Bogamace is on. I'm pretty sure these guys work together.
Okay.
It's kind of the Ann Arbor crew. And this deck's pretty solid. I mean, when your deck randomly wants Nyx Fleece Ram and Courser anyway.
Jeez, and there it goes again.
Wow.
Li Tian. That was game 2, and he won game 1, so that's another match down. All right, so he stays lockstep with Eric Froehlich with a victory, and now we got to find out if Sam Black is going to be able to defeat Michael Flores. So last we saw, Flores had won game 1. We're going to jump over there and figure out if there was an equalization game already or if they're still just resolving mulligans in between sideboards. But suddenly the last game in our feature match area, this is like the quickest round I've ever commentated on at the Pro Tour, I think.
Yeah.
And this is mono red mirror, by the way. There's 34 minutes on the round clock. All right, so here's Zergo Bellstriker for Flores. It's going to get magma sprayed, though. I'm assuming that comes out of the sideboard for Sam Black. Oh, and here's a sideboard card in Molten Vortex now for Flores. What do you make of this?
It's pretty interesting. I mean, 2 damage kills most of the creatures in Sam Black's deck.
Look at this. Flores is going to force the issue, figuring there's no 1-mana spell that he can realistically have here, and it works.
And I can see if you view these red mirrors as sort of like attrition matchups where you're one-for-oneing with each other's creatures with burn spells, Molten Vortex starts to make a lot of sense because as we've seen, actually last round, Sam Black lost 2 of his games to Jerry Thompson by flooding out with too many lands. Molten Vortex ensures that you'll never really flood out. And if you can just keep killing your opponent's creatures, the game's destined to go long, and then you're putting your lands to work as burn spells.
Now, you led that off with if you view these red mirrors as attrition games. Do you?
That's a great point. It's up for debate, I think. You can certainly build your deck or tailor your sideboard in such a way that you are trying to play a more controlling game and one-for-one with your opponent. But there's always the chance that, I mean, these are both aggressive decks. They can just both go at each other, and the game can be over quickly in a race. So it really depends on how each player is playing. And it looks like Sam Black has his own version of
the attrition fight. Yeah. So, Randy, who wins the fight between these 2 red enchantments in the mono red mirror?
I kind of like the Outpost Siege plan better.
Just
personally,
2-ish
it
cards
feels
per
but I
turn?
mean, these are the same deck, so I mean they both have access to both of these plans. You kind of get to see which guy's draw works out better. Yeah, I believe it's a 75 card mirror.
Yeah, this gets super interesting. So this is Searing Blood targeting the Abbot of Carol Keep, and I think Sam might kill it in response. Does he have that many cards that he can just basically 2-for-1 himself to save 3 damage here?
It's possible. I mean, whatever he's targeting with it is probably at least a 2 damage burn spell, which could just go to Michael Flores' face instead or kill one of his creatures. So I doubt it's worth it there, and it looks like he declines.
Searing Blood, so.
Yeah.
He didn't do it, though. Yeah, he took the 3. And there's the big one. Stoke the Flames.
Okay.
Revealed, and is he just going to fire it off here? Yeah. Throw it at your head, Michael Flores. So Flores is going to drop down to 16. Does Sam have a follow-up? Still got a mana left over. Nothing. Flores has 1 mountain in hand, but the rest are all spells. Exquisite Firecraft. He's got another Searing Blood, a Lightning Strike. And a Stoke. Wow, he just cast another Outpost.
This is really interesting, seeing these players take a much more card advantage-oriented approach to this mirror match. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, both decks have so much burn that creatures aren't likely to stick around very long. And if the creatures are getting killed, which are the only recurring sources of damage, well, you need a lot of cards to kill a player from 20 with just burn spells alone. And so the game's going to go long enough until both players can eliminate each other's creatures, have enough excess burn to go to the face and win the game. And if that's the case, then drawing extra cards out, drawing your opponent, is the path to victory.
You know, Flores has drawn a card and passed the turn for the last 3 turns in a row here. He does have a grip full of burn. You got to figure he's got to start throwing them around.
How does this guy attack? I'm sorry.
Right. Flores reminds Sam that the Abbot does not have haste, but Zurgo on dash does. And Zurgo is being targeted once again with a Searing Blood, and it looks like Sam is in fact going to stop it this time. So Magma Spray is going to prevent the 3 damage. He has so many cards flowing from these Outpost Sieges that he just can toss them away on his own creatures.
Yeah, and it makes sense to use Magma Spray there because Magma Spray is a burn spell that can only target creatures. So
and it does seem like Sam, or like Mike, is not interested in
right now, Sam is the one in
off.
the position who wants he wants the game to go longer since he has the 2 Outpost Sieges going. So him trading a Magma Spray to sort of gain 3 life by preventing the Searing Blood makes a lot of sense. And now here comes Chandra Pyromaster.
another form of card advantage and potentially damage. Yeah, he's just going to plus Chandra here. Flores is going to fall down to 15.
13 points of burn in Sam's hand, too. This game doesn't...
I don't think that Flores isn't that far behind on the burn here.
And Chandra Pyromaster, interesting here. Sam taking up toward ultimate, which in a way is kind of like gaining life, because if Sam were to use the ultimate on Chandra Pyromaster, with the density of burn spells in these decks, that's almost certain to be lethal, which means Michael Flores is going to have to deal with Chandra Pyromaster, which is absorbing some damage away from Sam's life total.
Yeah, it's got to be. It can be 12 damage quite easily.
That spell resolves. Announce an attack. Okay.
This is a Scab Clan Berserker now from Flores.
Why? I'm sorry. Oh, it's not right now. Apologies.
Go.
All right, he
Figure out post sieges.
Yep.
gets his Scab Clan Berserker killed here. He thought maybe it was Renown or that he would get the trigger, whether it wasn't. But the
It's a
Berserker
sideboard card. I don't think he's had a ton of experience.
Yeah, yeah. It only works when after it's Renown.
Yeah, Mike has gone up to 4 lands here because he needs to hard cast those Stoke the Flameses.
Chandra will deal 1 to you.
But yeah, having Scab Clan Berserker soak up 3 points of burn from Sand's hand helps.
It does seem like.
Looks like.
I mean, look at Sam's side of the board.
Stoke, Bell Striker is his hand, I believe.
Dash Zergo.
Sam Black's hand, yeah.
Attack you.
Wait.
Okay.
Mike may be forced to use a
Two.
Wild Slash on Zergo.
Trigger Zergo.
Sure.
Maybe not.
And your turn slash you.
11.
Okay, down to 11 for Sam Black. Can Flores really come up with 11 burn before Sam does 8 to him here? Sam can
He's
just-
holding it.
Sam,
Yeah, I think
he's
he
holding
just
his
used the
hand.
Wild Slash, so he actually has 10 points
10,
of burn
sure.
left, but
Mana's his
maybe
big
not
problem.
enough time to deploy it.
That resolves.
Attack.
Accept. 1. Thinking.
Yeah, you throw a Lightning Strike in here for the prowess trigger.
Well, see, the thing is, Sam Black has, I believe he has Searing Blood in his hand, so if Mike acts first with a Lightning Strike, Sam can respond with Searing Blood.
Yeah, Mike is just saying
So
take
Mike's
one.
just passing priority, saying take 1.
He knows he.
Just the 3 damage from the Searing Blood is a catastrophe, though. With Mike on 8?
Ooh, Mike does pick it up. He's down to 5.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, you
he-
just reply that.
I'm
Respond
surprised
with
he
a
didn't
Lightning
respond with
Strike,
Lightning
right?
Strike there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Flores is dead here.
You got it.
Yeah, it doesn't actually matter because Sam has the mana to deploy his hand full of burn spells.
Yeah, Sam had, what, 8 mountains on the battlefield that turn?
Yeah.
Well, like you were
All right, well, that's going to even things up between these two players, so we do get
hitting your 4, right?
an exciting Game 3 conclusion.
Following up on the Player of the Year math, by the
Yeah.
way, Paul Rietzel was live coming into this round to tie Eric Froehlich. But by winning that round, Eric Froehlich, in addition to eliminating Kentaro Yamamoto, he also eliminated Paul Rietzel. So we're down to 5. We are officially mathematically down to 5 contenders for Player of the Year. They are Sigrist, Shenhar,
When I had the third out.
Li Tian, Sam Black, Eric Froehlich.
Well,
Now,
the thing was like, I
a
only
few
had
of those
some
have to
lands,
top
so
8.
I was like, well, I
Sigrist has to top 8, Shahar has to top 8.
Okay.
so.
They're only live if they make the top 8. Pretty exciting stuff.
This is great, yeah.
I love the way Frolic has fought back.
Oh,
Love it.
so cool.
I mean, I'm
It's
rooting
so easy to just throw in the towel.
at 0-3.
Go enjoy your newfound status as Hall of Fame elect and hang out in Vancouver, beautiful city for the day.
I
But
guess I
no.
also drew the sideboard cards. I just drew the
He
shit.
doesn't,
And
he doesn't
especially
have any
impressive
give up in
since-
his blood.
Not only was he having to make a good run with his constructed deck, but he also had a 3-0 limited to do it as well.
Yeah.
So truly,
I think if you were to ask him, he would say that's the easy part.
perhaps.
By the way, if Shahar and Siggy both make top 8, Shahar has a 1-point lead should they lose in the same round.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
Of course he does, by the way.
What, you're going to get that 1-point lead as little kid luck? Is that where you're going with
He
this?
just has to have it.
It's about time for Shahar Shenhar to put up a Pro Tour top 8, by the way. Great player.
He's got to be top of the list. For
Yeah, best players without a Pro Tour top 8. I mean, we could argue about whether the world's top wins, world's top 4 is...
Yeah. I mean, the
Similar-
argument isn't,
A world's win is more impressive
Good
to me than a
players
Pro
with-
Tour top 8.
Okay, yeah.
I'll definitely defend that claim. That said, Pro Tour top 8's a big deal. A lot of people count those, and Shahar doesn't have one yet. May take care of that in a couple hours. Let's see how this afternoon plays out.
So what's his record at right now?
X3.
Meaning he does not have a loss to give.
He needs 2 wins and a draw. I mean, the people who get to X3 probably will be able to draw with each other in the last round.
Okay.
So, he doesn't have to win the last 3, just 2 and a draw. Mike Flores, by the way, he's playing for a Pro Tour invite. Like, this guy hasn't played the Pro Tour in 9 years, right? X5,
That's right,
what's
2006.
X5, you get to come back. So, is it this round, or does he have to win 2 more rounds?
Well,
He's
so he's
currently-
X4 right now. He's 9
He's
and 4.
X4, and there's 3 rounds left. So, he has to win 2 of the next 3 if he wants to be invited to play in Milwaukee. Doable.
So this is round 14.
Yeah, there's 2 after this.
Two more after this.
Yeah, you got to get to 11 and 5. So he wants 11 wins. He currently has 9, right? He's 9 and
He's
9
9
and 4.
and 4. That's correct.
So he needs to win 2 of the next 3. This one's going to come down to a game 3 against his teammate, who kind of also needs the match. Sam needs to win and hope somebody stops the Fro train.
All aboard.
I think we've been on board for a while, quite frankly.
Flores is from New York. He's a popular writer and podcaster.
Yep, one of the guys I grew up reading about and watching play Magic and learned a lot from.
Yeah. He's been one of the most prolific content creators the game's ever seen. He's just written
Completely
infinite
agree.
articles.
I'm not even. He may be the most
He has to
prolific
be
content
the-
creator.
yeah.
Like, who else is in the running?
You know, your
Chapin?
Chapins, yeah.
One of Mike's podcast partners, by the way.
BDM.
Right.
You know. Yes, Flores is on 2 different podcasts. He's on one with Brian David Marshall and one with Patrick Chapin.
There you go.
He writes weekly columns. Yeah, he also, by the way, is married, has 2 children, and a full-time job.
All true.
I honestly don't know how he does it. And by the way, professional Magic player some of the time too. So,
I don't know about the professional part.
hey, I said some of the time.
Well, you got to qualify for more than 1 per decade.
Hey, look, he's playing for it here. He's got a couple of wins to go.
So I was pretty impressed with the way that last game played out, with both players taking this sort of card advantage approach to the match. It certainly made it a lot more entertaining, I think, for us viewers, rather than just an outright race to see who can blitz the opponent down. And speaking of card advantage, is this Sam Black on a mulligan?
This is indeed. Turn that into a period. Yeah,
He's not having a particularly good day.
he's having a really bad day, right? Considering the position he was in coming in.
It kind of started in round 8 last night. He was super close.
Within 1 on 2 different games, which he both lost.
Exactly. I mean, the 7-0 part was kind of awesome, but stumbling. I mean, I haven't seen Sam do anything wrong. It seems like he's got good decks, reasonably well positioned.
It just hasn't come together for him.
Yeah, those draw steps have not been very cooperative.
Of course, we see this as he's.
Oh, wow. Kentaro Yamamoto has, we said coming into this round, all he needed was a draw for top 8. Of course, there's nobody to draw with. He's all by himself at the top of the standings, right? So Takahiro Fujimoto has to play him. Kentaro beat him. Kentaro Yamamoto now 13-1. Officially, mathematically, definitively locked for top 8, and he's heading back to Worlds.
He's going to take that slot.
Condolences to Jason Chung.
That's brutal.
Kentaro leapfrogs Jason Chung for the 3rd APAC spot in Worlds.
Well, congratulations to him, and yeah, condolences to Jason.
So
Sam
Sam Black,
good coming in, and it looks like we're ready for game 3 here. Zergo Bellstriker is the play for Michael Flores. Remember, he is on the play here, and he's just going to hard cast old Zergo.
Sam did scry to the bottom after his mulligan to 6.
All right, Lightning Strike is going to kill Zergo. These repetitive sources of damage, you know, the creatures in the deck, super important. Here's another one as a follow-up for Flores. This is an Eidolon of the Great Revel. Now,
Takes you.
they've got a deal on Team Ultra Pro, Randy.
Yep.
You miss Eidolon triggers, you do push-ups.
That's awesome.
I was talking to Flores this morning. I bumped into him walking down, and yeah. It's business over there at Team Ultra Pro.
17.
Abbott reveals a card he can't play this turn, so no card advantage, but still gets in with the Swift Spear.
Yeah, gets a Swift Spear down and has a nice little board state going here. Gives Sam Black something to deal with. And Sam does nothing on his main phase, so he's got... Oh, he's just got Stoke the Flames and an Abbot of Carol Keep, plus a Mountain.
Announced combat.
Molten Vortex, is that for Mike Flores?
That is indeed. And he has Stoke the Flames on the Abbot here.
Wow.
Now remember, both the Abbot and the Monastery Swift Spear have prowess. They both triggered
This
from
is
the Molten
currently
Vortex.
2 toughness. 2 toughness.
It's a
He
3-2.
so you have,
He can't get it above 5.
yeah, he can't get it to 5.
15. Go ahead.
But he is going to take 2 from the Swift Spear. The Abbot of Carol Keep is... this gets a little interesting. The Abbot of Carol Keep is going to be somewhat of a liability for Sam here, as Mike actually has 2 copies of Searing Blood in hand, and yeah, he's not even going to cast it.
Yep.
There's an Abbott, though, for Flores, who reveals another uncastable Searing Blood off the top of his library.
Hard Sam.
He has neither the mana nor the targets for it. This is really interesting now. Is Sam going to strand these Searing Bloods in the hand of Flores? Oh, here we go. And this isn't bad at all. He has found a window where Flores cannot cast either. And he's even hit a Scab Clan Berserker here off of the Abbott, and Sam just passes the turn back. This is a big turn for Flores here.
Prowess.
And he is going to get double prowess triggers and 2 Searing Bloods out of his hand here.
Ouch.
Wiping the board away. That was
That's
10 damage.
Yeah.
Oh, in stereo. That was brutal. Sam Black's down to 5. And he empties out his hand with Wild Slash
I think I can possibly
and a
go
Monastery
Cunio before
Swift
you
Strap.
run a firm kill me with that thing in play. Yep. 2. Yep. For now.
Trigger for Renowned. Down to 3 Sam Black. Now, effectively, anything off the top for Flores is good here.
Yeah, almost a hard lock.
Yeah.
So he needs to not draw spells and not draw land.
Right,
Sam
yeah,
Black's
that's-
going to come back.
And if Sam tries to cast spells,
And
he's
that's
taking
it.
more
Michael
damage.
Flores beats Sam Black to knock him to
Jeez.
9 and 5, while Flores stays up
Right.
to
So
10 and 4 and live for the
Mike
rerun.
Flores needs to win one of the next 2 to get a Pro Tour invite. That's what he's playing for. Sam Black, not actually dead for Player of the Year, but his max score is now 10 pro points to 67. Eric Froehlich's minimum score is 66. So Froehlich can knock Sam out with anything.
With
Even anything.
any points, any
Right.
match points.
If
of any
Frolic 0-2s
flavor.
and Sam 2-0s, Sam can get 1 point ahead of Eric. So he's still live, but he's in trouble.
It has slipped sharply away from Sam Black here on day 2.
You want to know who else is in trouble?
Yes.
Shahar Shenhar lost that round.
Okay.
So the only way he can get Player of the Year is if he wins some tiebreaker miracle into the top 8 on X4. He's got his 4th loss now, so
Okay.
mathematically his only chance is to somehow sneak into the top 8.
So he's effectively out of the running, though not literally.
Correct.
And Sam Black is behind a lot now.
Yeah,
though not
back
out of
against the
running.
wall, no control of his own destiny.
Wow.
Mike Sigrist, though,
So Sigrist is sort of becoming the last chance.
Li
to
Tian
beat
won that
Eric.
round, right?
You what?
Li Tian won this round, right?
Li Tian did win.
So
He
he's still
beat
tied with
Max
Eric.
Perfetti.
Eric controls his own destiny versus Li Tian, but Li Tian now a match above Sam. So Sam's kind of, he's got 3 people, 3 different people he has to leapfrog now.
Yikes.
Yeah.
This is
Not a good day for Sam Black.
Not a good day for Sam Black. Every round something changes here.
Whoa.
And one thing that keeps happening is, what do you got, Randy?
This just in. 4th loss for Mike Sigrist.
Wow.
4th loss for Mike Sigrist. Now, Siggy's playing for Worlds, too. He did not have a World spot coming in today. He was just below the bubble. Great weekend for Mike Sigrist. He's very likely to get to PAX. I'd have to do all the math on the at-larges to know for sure, but I feel like he's going to get to PAX. He was 1 below the bubble, and he's still just now picked up his 4th loss. That said, though, he's now with Shahar, where his only chance at POY is some kind of tiebreaker miracle, Mise into top 8.
So who's left?
Eric Froehlich, the Hall of Famer.
Who
Wow.
was 0-3 on day 1? That Eric Froehlich?
That's the one. There are, how many of the Hall of Fame contenders have a better, how many of the POY contenders have a better record than Eric Froehlich
How
right
many?
now? 0. Li Tian's tied with him. Sam's a match back. Shahar and Siggy are tied with him. Nobody's ahead of him right now.
So basically what you're saying is Eric threw the first 3 rounds to make it exciting for us. But then it was like, just kidding, guys. Win, 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 win. And has now put himself back in the lead for Player of the Year.
Run off
That's
10 and
incredible.
11. No problem.
Now, are there strange configurations where one of these other players that maybe was further behind in the pack could top 8 and then maybe get
No,
2nd or 1st or something and leapfrog?
we thought like Kentaro Yamamoto was in that coming into the weekend. There were like 50 players who, but that was all if Eric gets the minimum.
I
Now
see.
that Eric has clinched a minimum, he's already going to get at least 6 points.
Right.
Kentaro Yamamoto can no longer leapfrog him. None of the people who can leapfrog him are in top 8 contention anymore, unless you count Shahar and Siggy, who need a tiebreaker miracle.
Wow.
All right, well, it
Eric
sounds
Froehlich,
like-
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Eric Froehlich. He's insane, and there's a reason he's number 1. All right, let's have a word, though, in the feature match area right now with Michael J. Flores.
I'm Tim Willoughby, down here on the feature match area floor with Michael J. Flores, hot off a win against Sam Black there. Now, it's been a little while since you were last at the Pro Tour, right, Mike?
That's true. I think circa 10 years.
And you're one of the first crop of people that won an RPTQ. Now, there you were playing like 5-color blue dragons?
I was. I did. I played that's a factually true statement.
And now you're on red. What changed?
I mean, first of all, a whole new set came in. And the set is full of wonderful cards that are in my deck. Okay, that's one thing. And then separately, the decks that were very good in the RPTQ era, like Esper Dragons and stuff, were very, very bad against the Mono Blue Dragon deck that I built. Like, it was very, very good against slow control decks and mid-rangey decks. But for this tournament, first of all, you have cards like Exquisite Firecraft, which is just this amazing card that doubles up with Stoke the Flames. It gives you 8 cards that can deal 4 damage to the opponent. You do not have to count to very many cards to do 20 that way. And then Abbot of Carol Keep, which is probably just far and away the best card in Magic Origins. So, like, if you think about Snapcaster Mage, which is a massive secondary market value right now in cross-format All-Star, Abbot of Carol Keep is very, very similar in power level to this card. It's absolutely absurd. And it has prowess. So, like, you just attack. Like, I don't know if you watched this match with Sam. Like, not only did I kill all of his guys, but I attacked him for 4 with my Abbot. It was in one turn, right? It was very, very powerful. And then also, you know, I'm on one of the best teams in the world. I'm so grateful to be on this team. And these guys put together a red deck, and I had a lot of ideas, and none of my ideas were remotely as efficient or as good as this deck.
It must feel great to be on a team where there's so much great talent that even if your ideas aren't working, you know that somebody's are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I had been, like, by myself, I'm sure I would have had, like, 5-color Mono Blue Dragons or something. Which maybe would have worked out, but maybe not.
And in addition to, obviously, all the help that came through and constructed, you've got some powerhouses in Limited in that team too, right?
I don't know if folks at home are watching. Like, if you follow Patrick Chapin, who's my partner on Top Level Podcast, Patrick Chapin has gone on an amazing Grand Prix run since he and I together joined Team Ultra Pro. I think he cashed and pointed every single Grand Prix that he played in. And for a Hall of Famer with multiple Pro Tour top 8s, et cetera, he's never been, like, one of the greatest Grand Prix players, right? But the limited preparation on Team Ultra Pro is shocking. Like, I have never been known as a limited player of any skill. And I won my draft pod today, which had multiple Hall of Famers and multiple Players of the Year in it. And I was able to go 3-0, and I would 100. Is there a number bigger than 100%? Like, that's how much credit I would give to the Team Ultra Pro level of preparation. It's flabbergasting. A player of my limited not ability would be able to go 5-1 in the limited portion of the toughest tournament in the world, and it's all credit to the team.
And of course, I mean, you qualified for this Pro Tour by an RPTQ. Yeah. Effectively, you're kind of in your PTQ final now to get along to the next one.
Not really. I'm 1-1. I can even drop around and I can still stick, but I hope not to, right? So, you know, I'm just taking every round as it comes, just trying my best. Like you said, it's been 10 years for me. Glad I'm just not embarrassing the team right now. It's tough. You get to be on like one of the best teams in the world. You know, I haven't played in 10 years, and I'm just glad to be carrying my water, and hopefully I keep it up today. And I don't miss any Eidolon of the Great Revel triggers, because I don't know if you saw, if you miss an Eidolon of the Great Revel trigger on our team, you have to do push-ups.
How many have you got so far?
I had 2 misses yesterday, and 1 cost me a match. So I'm not doing it anymore, right? So
fair enough. Well, congratulations. Couple more rounds to go. Best of luck with them, and we're going to send things back because there's just a little bit more magic. A little bit more magic here at Magic Origins.
Oh, fantastic stuff. It's so great to have Mike Flores back on the Pro Tour, one of the true giants of the game. And in terms of community contributions, if you weren't around during the late 1990s when he was writing in his pomp, it is 100 years from now when Magic's still going, you're going to be reading his stuff from the dawn of the game. Just a giant of Magic writing and doing rather well at the Pro Tour, it turns out. Now, we have another deck tech for you, but it turns out players, they come in to the news desk and they give us their time right when so much is on the line, when they've got gold, silver, platinum on the line. And we ask a lot of them. But on the last Pro Tour of the season, well, there's even more at stake. Andrew Cuneo has a fantastic deck that we want to share with you. Andrew Cuneo has some incredibly important Magic to play right now. So what we've done is we brought in Sam Stoddard from inside Wizards of the Coast, former pro player and inside R&D, to take a look at Cuneo's deck because we really want to share it with you. It's a lovely thing. Best of luck to Andrew in his matches. So coming up, a sort of Cuneo Stoddard hybrid deck tech.